It's Liability News. Welcome back for episode 2 of my IGTV series for my exhibition, Renegade Renaissance. If you are coming back, thank you for coming back and checking out our first episode, which I gave a little intro to what the exhibition is about and about the series Rebel. It is currently showing at the Art Attack Gallery in San Francisco. So if you have a chance, check out the website. I'll leave the link below where you can check out more details of the work. Also, if you haven't got an opportunity to check out my website, I've dedicated a whole section to the Renegade Renaissance where you can catch these past episodes, as well as view the opening reception as we had it virtual. And you can get up close looks on the video and even more details on everything that has to do with the exhibition. So this week, we are going to talk about another piece that is quite the staple of the show. And this week's episode, we're going to talk about the piece called Colony. So Colony is a very interesting piece because a little bit background before we actually get into Colony. In any sort of live event that I do, I always have a canvas, which I always encourage people to come and paint on my canvas. I did this when I was painting at an event at Young. I did this at my open studios at the start of the Rebel series, actually the first 3 original pieces that I kind of started on during Rebel. I had people come in to view my work and I asked them to grab a color, pick up one of my palette knives, and just paint on my canvas. And so for this piece, Rebel, it was no difference. The biggest difference with Rebel specifically was the amount of people that I got to actually paint on my canvas this time around. So Colony was created at last year's Open Studios, which happens here during the fall in San Francisco, during the month of October. It's usually Arts Month here, and usually a bunch of art studios, galleries open up for the month for people to visit. Not this year, but there will be a virtual version of Open Studios happening this year that I will be a part of. So we'll have more information on that later on in other episodes. But with the Open Studios, I invited people to again paint on my canvas. And it was an interesting experiment because you have quite the range between people that really want to dive in but have a fear, and people that don't think that they're creative, maybe just a lover of the arts by viewing or participating in sort of like, if you're a patron by watching a show or going to theater, but not thinking that you're artistic yourself. And one of my missions personally as an artist is to sort of revitalize the impact that the arts have in each other's lives as society, and by encouraging everyone to bring out their inner creative. I believe we're all creative. I don't believe anyone is not creative, even though folks may think they are not. I think everyone has something that they're creative at without realizing it. And plus, I believe that creativity is essential to human survival. But that could be a whole other different conversation. Being said that, with that, again, I had the range and interesting conversations of getting people to bring out their inner creative and sort of almost rebel against that part of their ego that was denying them that. And so it was wonderful having all these different conversations where I would literally sometimes pull the people to pick a color, pick a palette knife, and paint on my canvas. And so with Colony, we had a total of 66 people that participated in painting this piece with me. So all I had them do was add the color. The only thing I added to Colony itself was the baseline of the Rebel. It is Rebel. But I use a spray paint that gives a marbling effect. and texture, which medium, which I use molding and cracking paste. So all I had done was add the parts of the texture on it first, and then all the color that was added for that particular piece was put on by the 66 people there. Some artists, some not artists, some children of all types. And then I added my own final process with the muting, monochroming of the paint of the white, and added a few layers on that. So I think the piece speaks very interesting in the sense of adding to the Rebel series, because even though part of the series, as I mentioned before, was about me going against my creative instinct, it was very interesting with this piece because I was getting folks to go against their own inner critic in terms of thinking whether they're creative or not, and adding my sort of personal creative struggle on top of theirs, giving this sort of different dynamic shape that this piece ended up turning out to. And I called it Colony as it was more befitting, since it was sort of a collective and a community that helped collaborate on it. So that's it for this episode. It's a little bit of a shorter one, but we have a couple more coming up next week. I think the next one I'm going to talk about Uprising, my biggest piece to date. It's about 6 feet long, and sort of tell you how, while creating Uprising, helped me to create the technique that is used with creating some of the rest of the Rebel series. Thank you for joining me. If you are interested in knowing whenever these come up, there's a way that you can get notifications through Instagram. I will also be reposting these videos on YouTube if you are a YouTube person, and I think you can also get notifications next time I post on YouTube. Till then, please keep coming in with your comments and any questions that you have, and I will try to make a nice special mini series of just saying it through my IG stories of answering some of the questions that you guys have. Again, you can see the work on Art Attack's website, in addition to my website at www.bohemianmuse.com, and you can get details of all of Renaissance Renegade. I'll see you in the next episode. Numo tres. Now, the funny part is, I don't know what music I'm putting with this video, so I hope I'm still in rhythm.